Hello everyone, it's me again. Welcome to Samir's Journey. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So I'm still on the topic. I'm still reacting or giving my opinions about the Divorce Club. So last night, we got a new episode. Should be episode 6. And thank God it was about an hour long. Like, it didn't split into 2 parts. I like that. Maybe I don't know if it's going to be an hour part, but I don't think so. But it was a longer episode. I like that. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kazadi Films. So in this episode, we had a guy called Beenzu. He's a married guy. He's been married for 8 years. And he has a wife. His wife, what was her name? Goodness me. I keep forgetting the name. Sorry. Okay. I'll put the name somewhere here. You're going to see it. Yeah, so he's been married for 8 years. And in these 8 years, he didn't have kids all this time. And he really wants kids, So he discovers that his wife is taking contraceptive pills so she can't have children. And she's been hiding it from him for a very long time. And now he's getting pressured, He feels stressed, like the family is stressed, about having kids. Because he's been waiting. It's been 8 years. No kids. So then he calls his wife to come on the show so they can talk about it, like the contraceptive pills and everything she's taking. So his wife is a businesswoman. She runs business and she travels around the world doing business. And this Beenzu dude didn't do anything. He's not employed. He's just a guy who stays home. And his wife had actually given him chores. The wife is like the boss at home, so because she's the money maker, the breadwinner. So she tells him that he should be cleaning the bedroom and cleaning his and her underwear. He has to do the laundry for the two of them.
I only asked of him to be sweeping the bedroom. Na kuwasha makabudula yao na yanga.
That's all. All he has to do is clean the bedroom and wash his and her underwear. Which the guy finds to be very shameful, but he said he does it because he loves her. So then he approaches and he asks her, why have you been taking contraceptives? In the beginning, she begins to deny. I'm not taking any contraceptives. You found them. How do I know you're not the one who put them there just to bring up all this drama and all that stuff? Like, she's denying everything. She's denying it all, until she does accept that she has been taking contraceptives. About 2 weeks ago, I was listening to a podcast on the BBC. It's called BBC podcast called The Comb. It's about African stories and stuff happening around Africa. So there was a story I listened to about a person in Cameroon. So this guy had some issues, so he couldn't have children with his wife. And this guy was a very, very successful businessman. So his father, began to think he was probably a witch or a wizard, or he had done some sort of rituals to get wealthy, and the cost of it was having no children. So that was like the rumor in his family that spread. And from that point, he's never ever talked to his father from that time. Like, they've never talked because his father had accused him of doing some rituals or being a witch or a wizard. So it was the same thing. So this Beenzu guy's family, his sister and relatives, began to think that this woman had actually done some rituals for her to become rich. So that's the reason she can't have children, because like she's given up her ability to have children so that she could have money. So that's what the family gets to know. So, and the thing is, it gets heated, It gets heated. And then the wife begins to expose a lot of stuff about her husband, this Beenzu dude. She says he's a porn addict. He watches so much porn and, that's all he thinks about, She tried finding him a job, but he denied it. He said he was too qualified for this job, so he didn't get the job. So he's just a guy who stays at home. Didn't do anything, just stays home, drinks. Like, his wife gives him money so he can drink, have fun, blah, blah. watch porn when he's alone and that kind of thing. Because his wife is rarely at home. She's the kind of businesswoman who travels for very long periods of time. Maybe she travels for, let's say, 2 months or 3 months away from home and all that stuff. So the guy is home alone and probably very, very lonely. So they have a maid, I think the maid also lives in their house, so they have a maid. Yes, she's the one who takes care of the other chores. Since the husband is only supposed to take care of the bedroom, cleaning the bedroom and washing his and his wife's underwear, the maid takes care of everything else around the house, maybe like cleaning the other stuff and all that stuff. So during the time we're talking about the contraceptive pills, his wife asked him, who was with you when you found the pills? And the husband said, I was with the maid. I think her name was Mercy. I'll correct it if I'm wrong. He was with Mercy when he found the pills, so that she could be a witness and everything, you know. So the wife gets upset. How can you let her get into our bedroom, blah, blah. And probably she was the one who was actually even cleaning the bedroom, because the man looked quite lazy. I'll show you a picture. Like, he didn't look like he was that kind of active guy, but from his pot belly, you can tell that this guy is a heavy drinker. So then during the same argument and blah, you know, it got really heated. So this Beenzu guy has a lot of powerful women in his family. His wife is one of those powerful women, like hot-headed powerful women, and his younger sister is also hot-headed powerful women. And then they're just going on about it, slapping, kicking, punching during the show. So then at some point, like, it becomes chilled, and then the same, his wife, why can't I remember her name? I just watched it last night. His wife cools down and says, I don't want to have kids because kids are expensive. I need to prepare for them. Like, where are going to get the money for, like, diapers, food, blah, blah, you know. That made a lot of sense. You can't just be having kids when you're not prepared, you know. But you have to prepare for this kind of things. So that part made sense. And I like how the show is going. Like, I like what the producer is doing. Like, the time when there's a lot of action, when you're seeing people punching, kicking, slapping, the producer guy is silent. Like, he waits for them to lose energy, just become weak and tired of, like, this grappling and fighting they're doing, running around. Like, he waits for them just to get tired. Then he'll be like, oh, sit down, you know, like, sit down and, you know, like, take your seats and you sit down, doing, like, just giving and, like, putting some order into it. I like what he's doing. I think it's a good tactic. Like, let them get tired. Then when after they're tired, then they can, like, chill. They can now, like, catch their breath and just, like, okay, let's talk now. I like that. So then, since his wife, this Beenzu guy's wife, is away for weeks, sometimes even months away from home doing business, the Beenzu guy's family assumes she's probably having affairs. Yes, she's having affairs. Like, maybe, for example, if she travels to China, then she has an affair in China with some person. So so they believe she was probably taking those pills, contraceptive pills, so that she can avoid her getting pregnant from her lovers in different countries and area codes, you know. So that's why she was taking the pills. So that's what this Beenzu guy's family assumes. So then, since this Beenzu guy is at home alone for weeks and months, and the only woman that he sees around is the maid, so one day he chooses to make his move, you know. I think he had been planning it for a long time, you know. And plus he accepted the fact that he watches porn because his wife is not around, and, you know, what can he do?
When I watch porn, it's not because in a porn in Nikon that when I'm working on my computer, in my brain that na pop-ups, I get enticed. I want to do what I've watched there to my wife, but
what does he do? So he makes his move on the maid, who I assume he raped her, I think, because she was crying the whole scene, or maybe she had been doing it, like, frequently, because she even got pregnant. And that was, like, the shocker of the whole thing. Like, yo, that was, like, shocking to everyone. They're like, his sister, because the Beenzu guy went there, his younger sister, shocked. His wife was shocked. She was powerless, like, just sat on the floor, like, powerless, like, why have you done this to me? So then he says, oh, don't you see? You know, like, he gets, like, all cocky.
that's not fun of Jali feet. kumkakochepa ngono uyo anipasa na mwana na umuna waone kati ngine mamuna mnyumba.
You know, I'm a man, you see, I can make a woman pregnant and blah blah blah, but that's not the right time and right place for that, you know. That's not the right situation to say that kind of thing. So then his wife begins to explain that the maid, this woman, Mercy, she is a 19-year-old girl. 19-year-old girl. Guys, look at this picture. Look at this picture. Does this woman look 19? Yo, I thought this woman was like at least maybe, I thought she was in her 30s or 40s. I was surprised when they said she was 19 years old. Like, nah. So let's say she's 19. According to the show, she is 19 years old. Let's not argue it. She's 19 years old. And her mother is Beenzu's wife. So this rich woman, the guy who's been slapping and kicking her husband, is the mother to the maid, Mercy. According to Mercy, she said when she was 14 years old, she was defiled by her father and she got pregnant and she had a kid. And that kid was named Mercy, the maid. That's why the maid has been around, because the maid grew up knowing that Beenzu's wife was her sister, not her mother. So they now get surprised. Everyone's surprised. Like, what? What's going on? Shocking. She explains it all. But then I just begin to calculate. I like calculating and like trying to see if it's actually realistic. Because we see, she said she was 14 when she got defiled. Let's say she had a kid when she was 15 years old. Right? And the same Mercy girl is 19. So 15 plus 19 should be 15 plus 19 should be 34, right? Should be 34. This woman didn't look 34 years old. They all look like they're in the 30. Maybe I can't tell, but they look like they're in their 40s to me, like 40s and above. So she's somewhere there. But maybe it's true. Maybe I can't tell. Maybe it's how she's dressed that makes her look like she's like over 40. Yeah. So very, very surprising story. Very, very surprising story. But very, very surprising story. Anyway, this Beenzu guy just blames his wife for everything. For not having kids, he blames his wife. For the maid getting pregnant, he blames his wife. Like, he never takes any responsibility. And from the show, if you watch this episode, you can see what I'm talking about. No responsibility at all. Nothing. And he's like a punching bag. He just gets kicked, slapped, punched by anybody. He says he's a gentleman. He didn't hit back or fight back. So he's the kind of guy, like, if you hit him on the right cheek, you give the left cheek kind of guy. Yes, they do exist. Anyway, guys, that's all for this video. That's my reaction. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on my next video. Peace.